unexplainable things that have happened on the set of movies, as well as look at some of the insane disasters and stuff that has happened on movie sets as well. So, yeah, let me know if you want to see more movie-related content, or you've got any suggestions for one-off videos kind of like this. Like, I do enjoy doing these videos that don't necessarily fit into a series, like the abandoned places, the haunted places, those kind of videos. But yeah, any suggestions, always welcome. So, without further ado, let's get into the list. So we begin with Vic Morrow. Took out a huge life insurance policy before he was killed on Twilight Zone the movie. An actor dying while filming a movie is a tragic and unusual occurrence, but it isn't necessarily a spooky one. In the case of the Twilight Zone movie, however, it was both, as these circumstances surrounding the lead actor Vic Morrow's death were anything but ordinary. A year before his death, after signing on to do the movie, Morrow took out a life insurance policy worth $5 million, even though he had no health concerns at the time. The actor told his friends and family that he'd been having dreams which made him sure he was going to die soon. Later, during the filming of one of Morrow's final Twilight Zone scenes, a helicopter crashed onto the set, killing Morrow and 2 child extras. This left some believing Morrow's premonitions had come true. A notion strengthened when they realised Morrow's death was identical to the one the Twilight Zone storyboard artist had conceptualised for the movie. That's so strange. Next we have unexplained claw marks appeared on the set of Annabelle. Pretty scary film. Annabelle is based on a true story about one of the most famous and notorious haunted dolls of all time. If any story had the power to make unexplainable things happen on set, it would be this one. The cast made the mistake of visiting the real-life Annabelle doll before filming, after which they started to notice claw marks all over the set. Marks would appear as though something had been moving around in the dust, while cast and crew members claimed that they'd been nowhere near those areas of the set. Surprisingly, the Annabelle dolls littered around the set were far less terrifying than this alleged energy on set, which eventually caused one actor to fall and hit their head in the exact place where their character would die in the movie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure that the marks and stuff will just be people playing a prank. The falling thing is weird though. I know about this one before, it's actually mental. So, Jim Caviezel got struck by lightning for real while on the cross filming The Passion of the Christ. So the production of The Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson's controversial film about the final days of Jesus, had strange occurrences of biblical proportions. For a start, the same crew member was inexplicably struck by lightning on 2 separate occasions, and Jesus actor Jim Caviezel himself was also struck by lightning while filming a scene on the cross. Not only that, but while reenacting the suffering of Christ, the actor dislocated his shoulder, contracted pneumonia, and was accidentally whipped for real. Caviezel said that the suffering he went through on set helped him relate to the suffering of Jesus on a more visceral and personal level, and he didn't shy away from the uncomfortable, even painful scenes necessary to shoot the film. Next up, there were multiple brushes with death for those who worked on Rosemary's Baby. Things got creepy on horror classic Rosemary's Baby long before the film made it to screens. Shortly after filming began, the film's extra not long before her murder. Blimey. Yeah, a lot of these are going to be from horror films, because, look, either they're getting haunted because the spirits are unhappy at their representation in Hollywood, or it's simply the cast playing a joke. But anyway, the cast's hotel radios kept playing the words, "I'm alive," during the filming of The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Some creepy things happened during production on director Scott Derrickson's 2005 supernatural drama, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. For one, the radios in the cast and crew's hotel rooms kept turning on in the night and playing just one song, "Alive" by Pearl Jam. In particular, the song kept sticking and repeating the words "I'm alive" until people started throwing out their radios in alarm. Brandon Lee was killed by a prop gun on the set of The Crow, in a scene his father had played out years before. Comic book movie The Crow is best known for one of the most infamous on-set tragedies in movie history. The film casts Brandon Lee as an anti-hero, avenging his fiance's murder from beyond the grave. But Lee tragically died for real while shooting his own death scene. Debris from a spent blank round was mistakenly left in a prop gun, and when fired, this hit Lee with the force of a real bullet. Lee was shot in the abdomen and died just hours later on the operating table. Eerily, Brandon's father, Bruce Lee, had acted out a similar scene years earlier in his film Game of Death, with his character shot and seemingly killed while shooting a movie. Like his son, Bruce Lee tragically died before completing work on the film, leading to speculation of a curse on the Lee family. That's so sad. That's a similar thing to what happened with the recent Alec Baldwin incident, isn't it? And next up, everybody got ill making Apocalypse Now. War movies are always a pain to shoot, but Apocalypse Now, which shot on location in the Philippines, quite literally brought agony for cast and crew. As filming dragged on for months, many of the cast found themselves unwell the majority of the time, dealing with everything from extreme cold and damp to wounds that were forced to wash with vodka due to the remoteness of medical assistance. Things got worse when a crew member died in an accident due to perilous on-set conditions, a tragic occurrence that led the director himself to battle suicidal thoughts during filming. Then, inexplicably, starring actor Martin Sheen suffered a major heart attack followed by an epileptic seizure out on set, the majority of which he had to suffer through alone with only the barest medical assistance. Gosh. Can we have like a more positive, unexplainable thing? The family of the real Ed and Lorraine Warren brought spirits to the set of The Conjuring. It's nice of them. Vodka, whiskey. 2013's The Conjuring and its sequels are based on the stories of Ed and Lorraine Warren, real-life paranormal investigators. I did a video on whether The Conjuring is real or not. While Ed passed away in 2006, Lorraine was still alive when the movies began. Their grandchildren were skeptical of their grandparents' stories, so they were happy to appear on set for The Conjuring. By contrast, Lorraine Warren herself refused to go near the set, believing that spirits would not take kindly to being copied, and that they probably would appear in person. Some say these fears were well founded, as when the Warrens' descendants appeared on set, strange things began to happen almost immediately, including furious winds and spontaneous fires. Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist famously features the devil in a prominent role. Well done him, I'd love to see that audition tape, which doubtless fuels stories of diabolical forces at work on set. No matter what you think of this idea, real tragedies did indeed occur during the Exorcist shoot. Most famously when actor Jack McGowan died unexpectedly shortly after completing his role as Burke Dennings, who dies in the film. McGowan's death was followed by those of two others working on the movie, a security guard and a special effects artist. These deaths had no easy explanation, nor did a fire which broke out on set. All these occurrences within just a few days led director William Friedkin to conclude that the set was haunted, so he chose to have it exorcised for real. Janet Leigh's Psycho stand-in was killed for real. Psycho is Alfred Hitchcock's terrifying story of a man who is able to, initially at least, kill without repercussions, due to him seeming so normal and unassuming as to avoid suspicion entirely. Tragically, someone else utilised this quality on a member of the cast, with lethal consequences. Some years after filming was concluded, lead actor Janet Leigh's stand-in, Myra Davis, was killed. According to Robert Graysmith, author of The Girl in Alfred Hitchcock's Shower, murderer Kenneth Dean Hunt was an obsessive fan of Psycho, who became fixated on killing someone involved in the film. The author speculates that Hunt perhaps meant to kill Marley Renfro, Janet Leigh's body double in the infamous shower scene, but confused her with Davis. Gosh, some people are just mental. Next up. Okay. Yeah, a lot of horror stuff. A demonically possessed relic prop may have caused a huge fire on the set of The Possession. If you make a movie called The Possession, don't be surprised when weirdly supernatural things keep happening around you. Whatever demon cursed the set of The Possession started off with small things, that's nice of them, like constantly burning out or exploding light bulbs. Things got much worse, however, when the entire prop storage department one day inexplicably burned to the ground. The site was examined for any kind of arson or even electrical fire, but no cause for the incident was found. Only one thing seemed in any way unusual. The prop for the movie's demonically possessed relic in the movie The Source of Evil was completely blackened and destroyed, as though it had been in the centre of the fire, when in reality it had been nowhere near it. That's weird. Again though, just like, feels like a prank. Next up, another horror, lovely. The cast and crew of the Amityville horror kept waking up at the exact time the murders actually took place. Like the Conjuring series, the Amityville horror movies are based on the story of an alleged real-life haunted house. Though the set of the original 1975 movie was reportedly a quiet one, the 2005 remake set wasn't quite so lucky. Things started off pretty horrifically when a dead body washed up on the shore of the beach right next to the hotel in which cast and crew was staying. As if that wasn't traumatic enough, when the cast and crew went back to the hotel after the incident, many of them began to observe a strange pattern. For a few of the cast and crew, waking up at exactly 3:15 AM every night became a regular occurrence during the shoot. This was the exact same time of night that Donald DeFeo Jr., whose murders the film was based on, killed his entire family. I feel like, though, you're reading a script and you're doing the research behind the movie and you, like, see that time 3:15, then you're thinking about it going to bed. making up, so I don't really find that unbelievable, that crazy, to be honest. So Matt Damon, and Michael Douglas sensed a well-perfumed presence on the set of Behind the Candelabra. Starring Matt Damon and Michael Douglas, Steven Soderbergh's Behind the Candelabra Liberace biopic told the story of the famed pianist, and Scott Thorson, Liberace's live-in bodyguard, who was also his lover. Though both Damon and Douglas are skeptics regarding the supernatural, both came away from filming the bio convinced that the whole production was haunted. The actors have claimed to have felt a male spirit watching them work during the shoot, particularly when sat at the piano for their scenes as Thorson and Liberace. They felt cold air constantly moving around them, saw lights flicker, felt a touch on their shoulders, and even swore they could smell a man's cologne in the air. The cancer epidemic among the cast and crew of The Conqueror may have been a result of nearby nuclear testing. The Conqueror isn't John Wayne's finest hour. In fact, if the film is remembered at all, it's for the fact that it may be the film that finally killed the Duke. Filmed in 1955, the Genghis Khan biopic saw its first post-shoot casualties as early as 1963, when director Dick Powell and supporting actor Pedro Armendariz killed themselves after terminal cancer diagnoses. Gosh, this is a really tragic video, goodness me. By the 70s and 80s, most of the rest of the principal cast, including Wayne and Susan Haywood, were dead from cancer or heart-related diseases. In total, of the 220 people involved in the film's production, 91 later developed some form of cancer. This may be because the film was shot 137 miles downwind of a Nevada nuclear test site. That is so bad. That is literally so bad. How is the health and safety person not taking that into account? 91, so over a third of people who worked on the movie died or got cancer. That one's blown my mind the most, just because it could have comfortably been avoided. Next we have the cast of the Innkeepers had shared nightmares. The Innkeepers feature young ghost hunters looking for proof of ghosts, and the film's cast and crew found themselves wondering if they'd encountered this for real. The 2011 film was shot in the allegedly haunted Yankee Peddler Inn in Torrington, Connecticut, while writer-director Ty West resisted the urge to cry ghost at the things that were happening around him. The cast were less sceptical. Lights and TV sets would turn off and on seemingly at random, while doors would slam shut and blow open without anyone so much as going near them. As if that wasn't bad enough, the cast and crew were also all staying together in the inn and found themselves having vivid nightmares, the worst elements of which were allegedly shared between the whole group. And apparitions appeared in Return to Babylon only once the film got to the editing stage. So Return to Babylon's director Alex Monty Kanawati got the idea for his haunted silent film when he found a roll of film lying abandoned on Hollywood Street. Thinking he'd struck gold, Kanawati took the weird contextless scenes and built a new movie around them, adding new footage with contemporary actors such as Jennifer Tilly. When the director checked the new footage, the faces of the actors were muddled and distorted, stretching and bulging into horrifying demonic figures on film. Not only that, but people seemed to jump from the old footage into the new, with with extras appearing in scenes that had never been cast. A film expert confirmed these weird defects but couldn't give a reason for why they were happening. I mean, that's pretty mental. If that is legit, that's genuinely pretty mental. Now that's the end of that list. I mean, I had a second article lined up, disasters that happened on set, but like, a lot of these were kind of disasters, to be honest. One sort of more funny thing that I thought might have been on this list, and I'm gonna Google it quickly so I actually get the somewhat facts right, but I believe it's something like all the cast of the Titanic accidentally took PCP, I think. Yeah, here we go. The Titanic crew recalled the night the set got drugged with PCP from spiked chowder. And then there's a quote saying grips are doing wheelies in wheelchairs. Well, what a night that would have been. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this evening's video. I think some of those were generally super interesting and borderline unexplainable. For me, not to boo-boo all the horror ones, but I feel like it's either a cast playing a prank or your brain knows you're working on something scary and stuff to do with, the devil and demons and stuff, so it's gonna sort of fill in the gaps when you're not filming, or make you see things that aren't really happening. But I don't know, if you guys have any other interesting facts about movie sets and things that happen, then be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Always up for chatting about movie stuff. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for tonight's video. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and if you are able to, if you're not too sleepy or tired, then please leave a like. It really does help out the channel.